What's up, fam-a-lam?
So,
I decided that I'm going to explain a theory that I came up with called the
unified
shit
theory.
The UST is literally an idea that I came up with when I was incredibly depressed. What the UST does is it puts everybody on an even playing field. Even playing field.
My bad.
So, here we go. So the UST, again, stands for the Unified Shit Theory. What that means is, Gandhi once said that in order to reach enlightenment, you must equate yourself to the lowest of the low. Anybody who's been a fan of me for any more than a day knows that I'm kind of a cynic. Or at least I think myself a cynic. So that being said, what I equate is the lowest of the low is a turd. Something useless, it's shit.
It's shit.
Now, bear with me, because this is going to get pretty
prideless.
And then it grows, it changes. But anyway, so if the lowest of the low is a turd, right, all the way on the ground, can't go no lower than that. So as a turd, I can still feel love. Things will give me love, right? Like another turd can pour, say,
Water,
quote unquote, onto me, and that will keep me, for lack of a better term,
moist.
and it will keep me going. By so doing, that puts me in a place where I have an epistemic responsibility to return that to them. In other words,
As a piece of shit.
anything that pours onto me, like, I should listen to that. You know what I mean? Like, I should feel it. I should hear it and return that favor.
Return that favor.
Because why would they do that? Why would they waste their time and energy
Pouring onto this shit.
That being said, if I'm a turd, and we're all supposed to be one equal thing, that means that everybody's a turd. That includes my parents, my children, my dead grandparents, and there's nothing that any of us can do about it.
Now,
Again, stick with me, this gets better. So if everyone's a turd,
doesn't that mean that nobody is?
like nobody is shit. Because if everything is shit, nothing could possibly be. That's a very, very fucked up way of thinking that kept me from being super duper fucking depressed. But anyway, if everybody's a turd, nobody is, right?
So
That's awesome. And, I used to justify this by saying kind of the Bill Hicks thing. That's good shit. Holy shit.
That's good shit.
Right? And, mushrooms grow from shit. They used to worship cows, man.
To worship cows, man.
There's probably a reason for that. But then I started thinking, so, okay, people would get really offended when I would say this, right? Like, particularly my buddy Cotton, the anomaly from the early days of the Lysurgeons. He would get super offended. He would always go,
Well, what about Thomas Edison? What about fucking Albert Einstein?
I'm like, yeah,
They're all shit.
it's a terrible thing to say, but by the end of it, like, you couldn't argue with me. But then I started realizing it was merely words that I was choosing. It was the verbiage, because everybody was always
Fucking offended.
like,
They're not shit.
and I would say, you got to take pride and put it off the table. Like, it doesn't have to be your thing. You don't have to agree with me, but it worked for me. And it really did save me from, like, a really dark place. Because if everything was shit, like I felt that I was, nobody was, which means that I wasn't. But then again, it came back to verbiage. So what I did was I reassessed, and I thought to myself, okay, so what's lower than a turd?
It's lower than a turd.
And again, I couldn't think of anything. My cynical mind was like,
Nope.
this is what it is. This is as bad as it gets. That may be, but what about if I think about it in physical layers, right? So, like, what's on top of it? Probably, I don't know, air, grass, whatever's above it. But beneath it is the dirt. Beneath it is the soil.
It's the soil.
So, to change this to where that it didn't offend people, I changed it to me being the whole garden. I am a garden.
I am a garden.
And the turds that I was talking about are the fertilizer. It's what allows me to grow things. It's my actions, my thoughts, my convictions, my whatever. And this is never offensive, because all of that shit that you put on yourself allows you to make the most beautiful garden it could ever be. And even still, that's some good shit. Look at this shit.
Holy shit.
So it all kind of rang true. It stuck with the theme of what I was trying to convey, but it was not negatively manifesting things. And by that, I mean, I would always say, like, and this is true. I say this to people now, especially.
But,
If you go out and tell people I'm a piece of shit,
well, no, you're not.
you got this, that, and this going for you. Yeah,
But
then you always try to justify it because people don't want to be wrong. But you're justifying something
Horrible.
So, again, by changing that verbiage, it completely removed all of that. And furthermore, whenever you go out and say these things, somebody may see you do something shitty and be like,
Well, fuck, he said he was a piece of shit. I should have listened.
Like,
You see what I'm saying?
so then all of a sudden, to them, you are a piece of shit.
You are a piece of shit.
And so it goes. So positive affirmations, man, it makes a huge difference. But if I'm the gardener and I can grow beautiful things with the turds that I have, which is my choices, my life, whatever it is, that seems kind of beautiful. That's the unified shit theory. Anyway, guys, for those of you who made it to the end, hope you like it. Y'all have a wonderful morning. Your boy loves you. Hit me up with any questions.